Let's look at long division method using vector theorem. So for a vector theorem, first of all we have to use we have to guess a vector, and then after we prove that we check whether it's a correct one by checking the vector whether it's correct or not. We have to substitute the value of the vector in the equation, and then if the equation gives us 0, then it's a vector. Then we continue to look for other vectors. So let's start by guessing a vector. So let's say it's x plus 1. Then we equate the vector to 0. And then we solve for x. Solving for x, we'll have something like negative x equals to negative 1. Now we'll take the negative 1 and substitute to the equation, so to prove that to check if it's a vector or not. So substituting the vector, we are looking at this equation here, this side, this one. So we will substitute the value of of x here, which is negative 1, and then negative 1 again here. It's the square, and negative 1 here, and then plus 1 as well here. So from this point, and then this one will negative 1, this one will be negative 1 as well. Multiply by 1, negative will have positive 1 plus 1. So if you add this together, we'll get 0. So how do we conclude? We conclude that x plus 1 is a vector because it gave us 0. It's a vector. And then from here we can take this vector and use the long division method to find the vector. So we have something like, we'll have x cubed minus x squared. This is the equation, minus x plus 1. So from this point, to use a long division, you have to divide. How do you divide? You'll take this one, this x, divide by this one. You always divide by this x here, and then after you have divided, you'll find the answer, then you put it here, and then you'll check the answer, you'll multiply. So you always multiply by the answer that you get it from here, and then you always multiply this one. So you'll multiply this, multiplication is between these two, and then subtract. So when you have done multiplying, you'll put your answer here, the answer that you have multiplied, and then you put a negative sign, and then you subtract this one and the answer here. So you always do this routine, start and go, start and go. So let's get started. Let's divide. So you divide, you always divide by this one. You take x cubed divide by x, you'll have x squared, and then you always multiply this two, multiply this and this one, you'll have something like x cubed, and then as well this one is positive 1, and x squared, it will be x squared. So now you have to put the have to subtract. You will put the negative sign here, And then after subtracting, you'll see as you multiply by a negative sign inside the bracket, this one will cancel, will be 0, and this one as well will be negative. So we'll have negative x squared, and negative x squared will have negative 2x squared. So what do you do now? You are done with the subtraction. You go back and start again. You divide by 1 this value. So you'll say 2x squared divided by x, and then you will have something negative 2x squared divided by x. We'll have negative 2x. So you always multiply by this value on top, this one multiply by that one. You will have something like a negative 2x squared, and you go again multiply it by this one, you will have negative 2x. So you check on top whether we have a like term like 2x here, because 2x does not have nothing in it, does not have any variable to subtract with, so you'll drop this one because the power are the same. But if the power was not, we didn't have x, we will not put this one here, so we'll drop this one here at this point, and then you'll add the negative sign because you're on the stage of the negative sign. So we'll multiply by the negative sign inside the bracket. When you multiply this one positive, and then this one will cancel out, will be 0, and then we'll multiply again this one with the negative sign. We'll have a positive 2x, and then positive 2x, you will add these two, and then this one is positive, so we'll have something like x because 2x. So you will take this x, this x divided by that one, you will have 1, so we'll have something like positive 1 here. And then you take the one, multiply this one, so everything multiply by 1, you see it doesn't make that big change. You'll have something like 1, and then because we have 1 on top here, and then it's like term with this one, so we'll put it here. And now we are in the stage where we have to subtract. Here is the negative sign, so this one will subtract each other, will give you 0. We'll multiply by negative, we'll have negative x, negative 1, then so then we are done with the effect long division method. So from this point you'll say f of x, and then you have to write your show your factors that you are finding, and then you have to further solve for the factor. So let's say you want to solve for something like you want to draw a graph of not quadratic but cubic graph. You will use this method to find this the factors, so you're able to find the x-axis or something like that. So the factor here, it's x plus 1, and the other factor is the one that's on top. So this and this one are the factors, so then you write them here. So but this one you have to further simplify it. Is negative. You have to simplify it further, so you'll have something like x plus 1, and then factors here. As you can see here, factors one have only one factor is 1, so obviously we'll have factors like 1 and 1 here. So these factors you can just put here in here. So when you add or subtract 1, give you 0, but because there's negative sign here, that means they are both negative, because there's 2 as well. Negative 2, negative 1, and negative 1, it's 2. So these are the factors. So when you are here, you are done with the factorizing part. So this is how you do it. So if you want more videos, you can check the link below. You see, and this link say http and double slash and then bit.ly slash 2fszeew. You will find more videos like this. You can watch more and maybe it will help. Okay, that's